EU votes to scrap daylight savings in 2021.
Here's a summary of the article.
MEPs have voted to scrap the practice of moving clocks forward by an hour in spring then back again in the autumn in the EU from April 2021, 2 years later than the EU executive initially proposed. EU law has required all countries in the bloc to observe daylight saving time, moving clocks forward by an hour on the last Sunday of March and back by an hour on the final Sunday in October. A Parliament report in favour of operating on a single time throughout the year said scientific studies linked time changes to diseases of the cardiovascular or immune systems because they interrupt biological cycles, and that there were no longer any energy savings. New technology and different ways of living mean that we no longer earn anything, in fact we don't save, Marita Ulvskog, the MEP in charge of the time change file, told the EU Parliament during a debate on the issue yesterday. If the Commission's original proposal had passed, the coming weekend would have been the last occasion to set clocks forward, with EU countries then deciding whether to stick to permanent summer time or switch back in October to permanent winter time. Countries would not then be able to change their clocks forward and backward during the year, but would be free to decide which time zone they wanted to be in. Russia decided in 2011 to switch to permanent summer time in an attempt to improve citizens' well-being but shifted to permanent winter time in 2014 after public complaints.
This post received a score of 20,972, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
I still don't understand if each state is gonna use whatever they want or if it's gonna be either permanent summer or winter time for all, because if it's the former it's gonna be a mess.
When they originally planned this, they basically said, do what you want, but to make it easier, maybe coordinate with your neighbors. I think that was part of the reason they delayed it 2 years. But I can't say if that's still the case or not.
Don't worry, 2 years is more than enough. They won't wait until the last minute. Brexit.
I think EU is prepared for Brexit, but the ones exiting are a bit lost.
It's like when you threaten to run away as a kid and then your parent locks the door.
More like your parent opening the door for you and you look at them like a deer in headlights.
So basically the UK is a cat that was constantly meowing to go outside, but once you open the door they just sit there and stare at you.
I think a politician actually used that analogy.
French chick, here. Opening square bracket.
Greater than the majority of countries outside Europe and North America do not adjust their clocks. And #X200B. Mind blown. I had assumed every country did it.
Loads of countries close to the equator are just sunny all year round.
They just get equal 12 hours day and night year round. So for a few months they're getting less sun than those above and below the equator.
Not exactly equal but very close. It also changes only slightly over the year, like about an extra 30 minutes of sunlight during some months.
Was this article written by a bot or something? There's no flow to it whatsoever. It's just a collection of related bullet points.
That might very well be true. More and more articles are being written by bots nowadays. Often readers don't even notice, but apparently this bot is still early in its learning process.
If there is a trend on topic X and no journalist have written any article on X, then a software writes a mini article. A professor who worked for Hurriyet told us.
Any software engineers here? Smells like #more work.
I think it'll be more work for the TZData community, but as long as our OSs and frameworks are kept up to date, and we're storing times in Epic, UTC, we should be okay. On the other hand, for legacy stuff, if we're storing things in local time, hoo boy. Definitely more work. Many discussions will be had whether we should finally change that table to UTC or just switch to the new time zone as a tactical fix, secretly hoping that the time zone never changes again.
Until the apocalypse in 2038.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.